Welcome back to episode number 2 of the Montreal Canadiens Franchise Rebuild. Episode 1 was off to a great start with our goal scorer, Mr. Cole Caulfield, scoring 4 goals in 2 games. But I got some comments I got to get to, so I'm learning how to pronounce the team's name here. So we got Florian Jacka is actually listed at 6'4", 200 pounds. So how big was he? I think he's in the AHL right now, so I'm going to leave him there. But apparently a lot bigger than he is right now listed in the game. And then for Slavkovsky. So I got 2 comments here. One of them, it's Uri Slavkovsky, which it could be that one. And then the next one is it's Uri Slavkovsky. So it's either Uri or Uri. I'm going to call him Mr. Slavy. That's just the way it's going to go for now. But he is a big boy, 6'3", 240 pounds at 19 years old. The guy is going to be an absolute menace in the league once he gets going. Obviously, his first year wasn't what we were expecting it. But again, he is a first overall pick. He is a great player. I'm expecting big things from him. And especially in this franchise mode with the medium elite potential, 4 assists in 2 games, I'm expecting Slavkovsky to be really good. And then for the goaltenders, let's go over to goaltending. It's pronounced Montembeault. I mean, I probably could have got that. Doesn't seem too hard. So Montembeault. And then David Reinbacher. See, thank you very much, the Braylon78 and ARJ. RAM John 884. But let's get into episode number 2 here. We're going to get a fair bit of simulating done, but I think I want to make an executive decision here, and I do want to sign Jesse Puljujärvi, formerly on, it looks like he might not even be here anymore actually. Let's see if Puljujärvi is still here. I think it's a good bet, 80 overall, scoring forward. I do want to bring him in. I'm going to offer him a contract. I'm going to go 3 years at just about $900K. And even if he doesn't cut the roster, I think it would be good to have him on the team and potentially just throw him down into the minors and do this. I tried signing last week. I don't think I was able to get him, but those are the only 2 players I'm going to sign. I don't want to sign too many players here, but let's go take a look at the stats after a couple of games. Our young players are playing. We're 1-1. Caulfield, not doing too bad as we saw earlier. Obviously, still way too early in the series to tell, but Slavkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield are 3 big prospects. Well, not really prospects at this age, but 19, 22, and 24 years old, all with 2 points per game. Kirby Dach, 3 points. Christian Dvorak's playing well, 3 points. Josh Anderson, 3 points. Newhook, 3 points. Everyone is producing so far. The only players that haven't really scored are players that you don't expect to score. Even Tanner Pearson probably not getting a lot of ice time yet, 9 minutes per game. But one big story was definitely our third line. So let's go take a look at our lines and make sure that we're completely okay with what we have here. I think for the time being, we're going to have to keep it, but remember that third line, all minus players, -3, -4, and then -4 for Gallagher. So at some point, maybe it's potentially moving up Tanner Pearson and bringing down Gallagher and really getting Pearson involved in the goal scoring as well. Even Harvey Pinard, I wouldn't mind bringing up a younger prospect. Jake Evans, 27 years old, probably going to keep him there. And defensively, our third pairing, kind of a disaster here with that -3. But I don't think there's too much we can do. We tried switching it around, but it looks like it's always just going to be that -3. Unless I put maybe Dennis Savard down there. Like, this is kind of the only thing I can do and have Harris. But Dennis Savard, 32 years old, or not even, is it, David Savard. Oh, dog's mad. My apologies, it's David Savard, not Dennis Savard. But the weird part about our offense and our defense is really our only good prospect that can potentially become good is Caden Gooley. Jordan Harris might become maybe an 81, 82, but we really got to work on developing Caden Gooley as well as Reinbacher. I definitely pronounced that name wrong. Reinbacher. No, that's right. Reinbacher, according to the comment. We got to work on developing him. And of course, we have him on that top pairing. So far, does have a goal in 2 games, which is nice to see. -2 is playing with an 80 overall Chris Weidman. So hopefully that does end up helping him out. But just morale issues all over the place. One other thing we got to watch out for that I've never played with is we do have morale on. So hopefully we can monitor that and really make sure that the team is clicking on all cylinders. But enough talking. Let's get into a couple games. I want to slow sim a couple games. I find it a little bit more interesting. Let's find an interesting matchup here. We got Minnesota up next. Don't think that's a game that we need to slow sim, but let's go look for a conference battle here. We can go play the Buffalo Sabres and have an Atlantic battle. Okay, Montembeault, lost morale, Jesse Puljujärvi. Okay, roster's full. I'm not gonna worry about it. Kirby Dach's not happy with roster interactions. Okay, so a lot of morale going down right now, but a 7-0 loss to the Minnesota Wild, followed by a 7-6 overtime loss. So at least we got a point, 1-2-1. Like I said, I don't imagine us to be cup contenders in year number 1, but let's go into a slow simulation at the Buffalo Sabres. Individual performances not going well, a lot of morale issues here. On the road, let's see if Cole Caulfield can keep up his hot start to this I almost said Stanley Cup playoffs, to the season. Let's go first period, 2-0, and it's Nick Suzuki scoring shorthanded on Luukkonen, and then Arbor Xhekaj getting a goal. Love to see that. 18 shots for in just one period. Second period, another 2 goals. Nick Suzuki scores his second of the game, this time on the power play. So 1 shorthanded goal, 1 power play goal. Now we're just waiting for that even strength goal. Kirby Dach also gets a goal for the boys in red. Shots are 28-17. Power play, unable to capitalize there, but can we hold it down? Come on, Jake Allen, don't give up 3. That's all we ask. Just smooth sailing. I'd like to see Cole Caulfield get on the board here. Power play once again. And Josh Anderson. The power play so far in these slow simulations have been pretty damn good for us, as we're going to go ahead and take this game 5-1, making our record 2-2-1 on the season. As for 3 stars, Jake Allen has a great game. Kirby Dach with 3 points. Nick Suzuki 2 points. The Montreal Canadiens stats. Let's see how everyone else played. We got Christian Dvorak with a point, Monahan, Slavkovsky with another assist, +2, Xhekaj a +2 with only 11 minutes, Caulfield with only 1 assist, but that's completely okay. Brendan Gallagher -1 again, Tanner Pearson +1. So let's simulate. I want to say a month, multiple changes because of individual. Okay, so Dvorak's happy with his ice time, which is actually really nice. Matheson happy with the ice time as he's playing top lines. Cole Caulfield, we want him to be happy, so that's very crucial and important. But let's get into another slow simulation game here. Let's go find, the Boston Bruins. This will be a good one to slow simulate. A big loss against the New Jersey Devils, but that's a good team, so I'm not too concerned here. As long as we keep chipping away, just don't go 5-6-1, that's fine. We're kind of hovering 6-6-1, same record as the Boston Bruins. Looking at the Stanley Cup or the standings here, we're actually only 2 points out of first place realistically. So Boston Bruins, we are back to the Bell Center. Can we continue to dominate in these slow simulations? First period, 1-0, and Josh Anderson has been very good for us. He scores another goal as we outshoot the Bruins 11-10. Second period, another power play goal, and it's captain Nick Suzuki scoring once again, and the shots are 32-16 in favor of the Boston Bruins, but the Montreal Canadiens are heading into the third period with a 2-0 lead. Can Allen continue to stand on his head? And there he is, one of the heart and souls of the team. Brendan Gallagher gets a goal, but Magna answers right back. Power play, it's a long one. Unable to capitalize here. 2-goal lead with 5 minutes left. Can we hold on? Come on, 3, 2, late penalty kill. We're able to kill it off, and we take a 3-1 win, as this time it's Montembeault who has a really big game. 40 saves, 1 goal against. Sean Monahan with 3 assists, so that third line really came to play after having a couple rough games. But I just want to see where we're at in the stats here. Just want to see where we're at the stats. So bringing up the stats, 7-6-1, which is not bad, 14 games in. And it looks like Kirby Dach leading the way with 14 points in 14 games. So it looks like our stars may have slowed down just a little bit, but Suzuki right up there still with 13 points. Slavkovsky right up there with 13 points. Still a 79 overall. Dvorak. Cole Caulfield has definitely slowed down a little bit, but 7 goals leading our team in that category. Sean Monahan, 10 points. Josh Anderson, 10 points. Newhook, only 1 goal. He only has 10 shots. Let's see. Suzuki, 25 shots. And I'm hoping Caulfield leading the way with 45 shots. We really want him to keep shooting. And then going down the list, Jack 23 penalty minutes of +1. And going into the entire league, just for a little bit of building some storylines. Who's leading the league? Are we close? Nathan McKinnon at 2 points per game with 26 points in 13 games. Rantanen right behind him. Kaprizov. Any surprises here? Sveshnikov, Brad Marchand's having a really good year. Kyle Connor, Patrick Laine, Ovi. Kind of nothing's too surprising here. Maybe you can argue that Lindholm's surprising, but he is an 89 overall, a really good player. Not talked about enough, in my opinion. Connor Garland. So that would be our first big surprise, in my opinion. But that's completely okay. Let's go into rookie skaters and take a look. Connor Bedard is at 10 points so far in 12 games. I don't believe we have any rookies playing in the lineup for us that are kind of in contention of this award. We do not. So next year, if we get a really good draft pick, we can really kind of work on that. But 7-6-1, I think it's going well here. I'm going to simulate a month. Yeah, let's simulate another month. I want to get at least to the halfway season. If the season's over, then we'll kind of probably finish out the year. But I want to see how Montreal is going to play. I don't want to mess with the team too much in year number 1, as I mentioned in previous videos. And I want to see how we're going to do. And Primo getting some morale, which is really good. We're honestly 11-9-1. We're in a playoff spot right now, a 1-0 win. One thing that's underrated about this team is our goaltending actually has been pretty good. A 1-0 win, 5-1 win, 5-4 overtime loss, not good, but 4-2 win, 4-0 win. So the goaltending has been good, and the team isn't playing that bad. 18-13-2 so far, a big 9-1 win. And I'm just hoping that by the end of this year, what is the goal for Slafkovsky? Do we want to have him, is the goal to have him at an 83 overall, where we think his ceiling is? But we're coming a little bit back down to earth here, but 2 big wins. Now we got the Ottawa Senators. Okay, so let's take a look here. We are just outside the playoffs, 3 points outside, but we played 5 more games than the Ottawa Senators. So we're falling a little bit behind here, but that's okay. We got a game against the Ottawa Senators here. Let's slow sim this one. We are going to the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, and we'll see if we can really start to dominate right now. So let's go. First period, and 2-1. Okay, that took forever. I was kind of nervous. Vladimir Tarasenko gets one for the Sens, but we get another goal from Sean Monahan on the power play and a shorthanded goal from our defenseman Harris, who is all the way basically at the goal line, which is absolutely insane. So 2-1 for the Montreal Canadiens. Second period, Caulfield, there he is. That's the first time we see him score in this slow simulation. Outshooting the Sens 30-14 as well, with a 2-goal lead heading into the third period. Alex Newhook gets in on the goal scoring. Drake Batherson answers back with a power play marker on Montembeault, and then Brady Tkachuk scores to make this a close game. 4-3, a power play for the Ottawa Senators. It's a long one. God, the Montreal Canadiens kill it off, and I'm gonna die here. I got too excited. And Cole Caulfield scores the goal, and we take the game 5-3, a big game against the Ottawa Senators to keep our playoff hopes in check. And Nick Suzuki, Captain Suzuki, 4 assists. Caulfield puts up 3 points. Let's go view the Ottawa Senators. Just kidding, the Montreal Canadiens stats. As Suzuki plays 25 minutes, and in those 25 minutes, 0 shots. Caulfield, 8 shots. Monahan with a point. Everyone kind of got in on the scoring here. Love to see that. But let's go take a look at the stats, as we're just about midway through the season right about now. So let's see what we got. 24, 14, and 2. You know what? No, that's the Ottawa Senators. We're 23, 19, and 3. So 45 games in the season. Let's take a mid-season update and check out how the team's doing. And that's a surprise. Christian Dvorak leading the way in scoring so far. I was not expecting that. I know Monahan's going to be up there. Caulfield. Suzuki should be pretty close to the top. There it is. That second line is tearing it up. Suzuki, Dvorak, and Doc, plus 24, plus 15. Sorry, not Suzuki, Slafkovsky, plus 15 and plus 23. That is by far our most efficient line. And looking at the points here, Suzuki right behind with 43 points. Caulfield 42 with 23 goals to go with it. Kirby Doc 42 points. Slafkovsky still a 79 overall, but that's okay. Monahan, Newhook has not been playing well in that first line. So I believe Newhook's on that first line, but I don't want to touch that second line. They're playing so well. Josh Anderson, maybe it's worth adding Josh Anderson and putting him back up on the second line. Newhook is listed as a third line scoring forward. I wouldn't mind making that change and having Josh Anderson play on that line. Anderson does get a little bit more penalty minutes. He'll take a couple more shots. Caden Gooley, there we go. 20 points in 45 games. Brendan Gallagher. So I think the team, for the most part, is playing pretty well. Jack-Eye, look at him. 5 goals, 2 helpers, 47 penalty minutes. Just protecting the boys out there. Plus minus. Kirby Dach leading the way there. Power play looks like it's starting to slow down as Suzuki has 11, but that's not... We were doing a lot better. So takeaways, who's leading our way there? Cole Caulfield, a really good two-way player. 45 takeaways to only 23 giveaways, so can't complain about that. And then looking at the entire league here, so we're definitely going to end the year. We got to end the year here. Got to go through it. Pedersen, 98 takeaways. That's insane. Insane with 59 points. Nathan McKinnon still leading the way, 69 points. Matthews, McDavid right behind with 60 apiece. Ranton and Kyle Connor. Cale Makar having a really good year as anticipated. But let's keep it going. Actually, we got to show a little bit of love to our goaltender here. I feel like he's been playing really good. Both of them, Montembeault and Allen. Montembeault is 8-3-1 with a 9.27. Okay, do we start Montembeault? Do we start him? 9.27, 2.45. Do I start Montembeault? You know what? I'm going to start Montembeault. Why not? Get him in there. This year one, we're going to make the playoffs. I believe in it through Montembeault. That's the only way to go. Okay, so let's go take a look here at... And I also want to take Newhook off that first line, I think. I don't want to mess with any... I'm going to bring Dvorak up to the first line. It might ruin this second line a little bit, but I like the fact that it's a +2 now. So really, Newhook's up to an 83, Slavkovsky 81, Dach up to an 86. The +5 will help out Dvorak. Or I can go like this and just bring Slavkovsky up and really help him out. But let's keep Slavkovsky down. He is listed as a left wing. Kind of want to throw him in that first line. I'm going to keep him there. I'm going to keep him there for now. Defensively, Jack-Eye actually up to an 80 overall now, which is nice. Same with Harris, 80 overall. Gooley, Barron, I believe, was at an 80 overall. Any offensive changes here? I think everything's still the same here. But I'm going to go into goaltenders, and I think Montembeault deserves... He is starting now. Montembeault should be starting, so I'm just going like this so it makes sense. Montembeault is the new starting goalie of the Montreal Canadiens. Let's sim to the next game versus the Ottawa Senators. Gain locker room chemistry. That's what we like to see. Can we beat the Boston Bruins here? 4-2 loss. That's not a good win. Wow. Ottawa's 9-1 in the last 10 games, and that one loss came to us, just saying. So let's simulate them again. This time we're on home ice. Let's see if we can lay down the hammer. First period, we're up 1-0. Kirby Dach. So that's what I don't get. I feel like on the power play, every time we slow sim, we score a bunch of goals. But the stats just don't relay that message. Second period, 3-1. Stützle scores, but another power play goal. This time, Josh Anderson and Tanner Pearson gets in on the scoring. And we are 20 minutes away from handing Ottawa the second loss in 3 days. And we get a shorthanded goal from Savard from God knows whatever angle that is to make it 4-1 as he sneaks it past Jonas Korpisalo. And it looks like we're going to be able to take down the Ottawa Senators once again. Fermenton gets one with 4 minutes left. Jake Allen in the net, but Harvey Pinard ends the game with an empty netter. And the Montreal Canadiens take the win 5-2. And Christian Dvorak gets a couple points in that game to extend his point streak to 47 points in 47 games. But let's go to the trade deadline here. Similar to the trade deadline, I'm not going to make any trades, but I just want to see what's out there. And if something comes up for the trade deadline, I wouldn't be opposed to making a slight move that isn't going to give up our future. Because right now we are in a playoff position with 55 points in 50 games. We definitely are going to need to close out the season hot, but 4 losses in our last 5 games, 6 losses in our last 7. It's looking a little bit bleak, but we come back with 2 straight wins. If we can just beat the East teams, beat Florida, this is a team you have to beat. Tampa, a team you got to beat. See, we're beating the West teams, but we're faltering against the East. Okay, so right now, I would say we're a conservative buyer. I think that's how we can mark up our team. So let's enter the trade deadline and see what is available. Elias Lindholm, Patrick Kane, Mackenzie Weegar, Nazem the Dream, Vladdy Tarasenko, Brian Dumoulin, Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko wouldn't be a bad option here. 86 sniper, is a little bit older. Don't think I'm looking for that type of player. But someone like a Jeremy Swayman. We don't have a goaltender. Teams interested, has Montreal interested. I think Jeremy Swayman would be a good option for us to look at. Let's kick tires on Jeremy Swayman. I just want to see what it would take for Jeremy Swayman to come on over to the Montreal Canadiens, as we clearly have not made a trade. And draft picks, I would not give up our first round pick. We would have to send over Jake Allen in this trade, I believe. So if we send Jake Allen, I think Montembeault has been better anyways. So I would not mind keeping Jake Allen. Should we throw in Carey Price? I'm just kidding. We would never throw in Carey Price. And is there anyone that we can give up on our team that we would not miss? So someone like Roy, I would like to keep. Beck, I would like to keep. Mazar, I would like to keep. Engstrom. So you have to give up something. And I think for me, a defenseman prospect is something that we should keep along on our squad. But I'm still going to keep looking here. Heenman, 75 at 22. He could be a player that we end up moving on from. And then maybe potentially adding in a guy like Gudon. And I think this would be kind of a package. Asset is no longer on the team. So we took too long. Where is he playing now? That's tough. Scout player. Does it show us where he is playing? I think that would have even gone through. Swayman gets moved. Let's go take a look and see trade summary. We tried to get Swayman, and Swayman ends up going to the Seattle Kraken for a first round selection. Oh no, for Jordan Eberle and Adam Larsson, and they also get a first round selection back. So Boston and Seattle making a huge deal. That's unfortunate. Swayman right there, sold. Can't get him now. Let's just do a fine trade real quick. Just kick tires. And what if I were to go and add Heinen in? And I just want to see what I would get for him. I just want to see what would kick. Third and fourth, second and third. Daniel Sprong in a sixth, third and third, third and fourth, third and three. So the best we can do is a second and third for Heinen. I think I'm going to decline. I think I don't need to make that move here. But it's an interesting kind of trade that we can get for him. What if I were to give up someone like Alex Newhook? I'm not going to give him up, but we can get Matt Dumba. 2 seconds. Marc-Andre Fleury, 2 seconds and a third. Barbanov, Aiden Hill. Interesting. I'd just like to see this Aiden Hill trade. What is Aiden Hill's trade value? How old is Aiden Hill? Let's take a look at this. 27 at 84. It's really not an upgrade for us, but it's interesting. The final trades aren't that bad this year. And if we want to give up our first round pick theoretically, which we definitely don't, in my opinion, no teams are interested. What about a second and a third? No trades, just a second. Okay, so I think we missed our opportunity there. Jeremy Swayman definitely would have been a good player to pick up, but it happens to the best of us. Kuzmenko going to the Minnesota Wild for 2 first-round picks. Oh, wow. What a trade there. Let's slow sim this game. I kind of want to get Slavkovsky on the first line. I got to get Slavkovsky up there. Suzuki's actually over a point per game playing with Mr. Dvorak. Let's take a look at Dvorak's stats before we move it on, though. Dvorak was a point per game. He's still managing that point per game. Slavkovsky slowing down a little bit. Same with Doc with Mr. Newhook on his line. Newhook has not been good. Newhook just hasn't been good out there. I want to call the audible so bad. I want to put Slavkovsky on that top line. If Slavkovsky scores 1 goal in this game, I'll put him on the first line. There it is. If Slavkovsky scores here, I will put him on the first line. First period, 3-0. We got Caulfield. So Suzuki, Tanner Pearson, second period. Slavkovsky, there it is. All right, Slavkovsky, welcome to the first line as you scored. Let's see Montreal stats here and see how many points he had. He just had the 1 goal, +2. We're getting him on there. Dvorak, 1 assist. Slavkovsky, welcome to the first line. This is probably not the brightest thing that we're going to do, but it's only 20 games left in the season. It's a very doubtable if we're going to make the playoffs, and I think he deserves it. He's been playing well. Slavkovsky, welcome to the first line. You are now an 84 overall. That is huge for his development, and I'm actually going to edit the lines, and I'm going to take Newhook off that second line too. And in that replacement, I'm going to throw Josh Anderson or Sean Monahan. You know what? Sean Monahan can play it. And Newhook can play center. Faceoff 75. That's completely fine. Faceoffs here, 80. And Kirby Doc has 75. I could put Monahan in the middle there. And I will do that, just for the extra rating in faceoffs. And let's see how Slavkovsky does in his first game as a first liner for the Montreal Canadiens. Slow simming it. Here we go. First period, 0-0. Outshot 10 a second, 0-0. Okay, so it's a defensive showdown in Slavkovsky's first game as a first liner. Who is going to be the first one to break through? Shots are 27-19. And Robinson breaks through for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Not what we like to see. Come on, Slavkovsky. You're making me look like a terrible coach. Come on. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. And it's Caden Gooley, our young defenseman. Oh, man. I almost died watching that. Slow sim this one as well. Come on. Overtime. Who's going to play hero? We're going to shootout. And in shootout, Patrick Laine ends it. Not our best work. Not our best work right there. The playoffs are still a potential here. We're at 70 points. A playoff spot is 74 points currently. So we'll monitor very slowly. Boston Bruins, this is a game we have to win. They're not a good team. They can't make the playoffs themselves unless they go on a crazy streak and we lose 6-1. Every loss is just making this a little bit tougher. 4-3 shootout loss, and I think putting Slavkovsky on that first line really screwed us. I think it really took us out. 4-1. Okay, so now we just want to tank. Now we just want to tank. There we go. Just keep losing. Just keep losing. We want a good draft pick here. Lose to the Kraken 2-0. We're at it. Oh, OT win. OT win there. We should lose. Perfect. Just keep losing at this point. Philly, that's a win. 72 games. Carolina. Okay, the more losses, the better here. The more losses, the better. We're not making the playoffs in year one. Has gained morale because of the locker room. I saw that for Slavkovsky. We'll go to the last game of the regular season versus the Detroit Red Wings and kind of finish up this year. But I'm hoping to see a lot of losses. Just keep piling up these losses. Perfect. Perfect. Lose 8-0. Wow, we've been outscored 14-0 in our last 2 games. But last game of the regular season, let's end it on a big loss. First period, 1-0. Kirby Doc, Lucas Raymond, and Brendan Gallagher. Third period, Brendan Gallagher, Sean Monahan, and Cole Caulfield. 3 stars of the game. Gallagher has a big game. Montembeault. Honestly, Montembeault impressed me this year. I think going forward, if we don't get a goalie, he can definitely be our starter. I don't have any problems with that. But nonetheless, year number 1, 38, and 6. I think that's a good season for the Montreal Canadiens. And I'm going to stop the simulation now. And I just want to take a look at our AHL squad to see if we were able to make the playoffs for the AHL. AHL squad went. So I believe we're 36, 25, and 10. But look at what you see there. Sean Farrell, 65 points. So we're going to definitely take a look at that. Let's simulate through that game and see if the team makes the playoffs. Advanced AHL season has been completed, and the Laval Rocket do make the Stanley Cup playoffs. I think it's called the Calder Cup playoffs. So let's go take a look at the team. Nick Suzuki leads the way with 88 points in 82 games. Caulfield, 87. Dvorak, 75. Slavkovsky, 55. So Dvorak had a really good year too. Surprised he hasn't jumped at all, but that's okay. Doc, 71. Slavkovsky, as mentioned, 55. Monahan, Newhook, hoping he can be a little bit better. Josh Anderson, a -30. Not too pretty there. But let's go take a look at the entire league. and it's Nathan McKinnon. McDavid comes close, Matthews comes close, but who was the main goal scorer? It was Alexander Ovechkin, who is now, I think, 893 he's got to get to, or 896. So next year he will be breaking the record as long as he comes back and plays one more season in the NHL. But a good year for everyone. Let's go take a look at goaltenders, and I want to see, actually let's take rookie skaters first. Bedard, 68 points in his first year, and goaltenders, I just want to go take a look and see how Mr. Montembeault did for the Montreal Canadiens. I felt like he was really good. 12-7-2, 9-13, 290. So his numbers definitely went down towards the end of the year, but we want to lose, so it's okay, Montembeault. Jake Allen was not too particularly good himself, but let's go take a look at our AHL squad now and see. Can I change it from here? AHL, there we go. Okay, AHL. So we got Farrell, who played really good, up to an 81 overall, so definitely going to be on the team next year. Yolinen, up to an 80 overall. Joel Armia, Mitchell Stevenson. I don't know what just happened to my screen. It turned black. Okay, it is back on now. And I want to go take a Rybacker. Okay, Rybacker up to a 77. From a 74 to a 77. So potentially, if he gets a good boost, he can play also in the NHL next year. But let's monitor them in the playoffs. Let's monitor them in the Stanley Cup playoffs here. They got Rochester Americans up first. It would be huge if we can have a good playoff run here. This is going to be a best of 3, so we're going to simulate a couple games. Down 1-0, down 2-0. So we need a reverse sweep here. Can we do it? And we get swept in the first round. That's tough. That's tough. But let's simulate to the draft lottery just so we can see. Let's see. Are we going to win the draft lottery here? I'm hoping that we do. Come on. Come on. The draft lottery. It's going to show Stanley Cup champions first, who are the Colorado Avalanche. Honestly, no surprise there. But going into the draft lottery, and the Detroit Red Wings actually give up their second overall pick to the Ottawa Senators. Montreal, we finish 11th. So we have the 11th overall selection in the upcoming NHL draft, which is not a bad pick here. So let's go take a look and really wrap up this year, see the awards, see how everyone played. So the awards, Stanley Cup Presidents goes to Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay, they won the Presidents. Toronto makes it all the way to the finals, ends up falling to the Colorado Avalanche, where Nathan McKinnon cleaned up, Cale Makar cleaned up, Nikita Kucherov, Connor Bedard, Mikko Rantanen, Elvis Merzinglis as the Vezina. Interesting. Vasilevsky, Ruta, the Washington Capitals coach. No awards for our Montreal Canadiens as of yet, but we're coming. We're coming. Caulfield and Suzuki, it's gonna be a dominant force. You just wait. But we have the 11th overall pick. So quickly before we end this, view draft class, and hopefully our scouts were going to work here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if it ends up being a defenseman, it wouldn't be the end of the world here. I think a defenseman is what we need. Going down the list, any player here that we recognize. This guy, Berkeley Caton. I don't know anything about him, but 51 goals, 82 assists. What? 133 points. Now, hear me out. Can we get up and trade for this player? Is there any way? Because this guy's gonna be good. What about this guy? Yeah, this Caden guy, he might go first overall. Caden might be a franchise potential player. But that's going to do it for this video. Montreal season 1 is over. We got the draft, offseason, and beginning of year number 1 coming up next. And see if there's any progress reports before we end it quickly. Modifications. Farrell up to an 81. Caulfield up to an 89. Dvorak up to an 83. Or he may even went down, actually. Slavkovsky, only 1. But that's okay. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Find me more. Just comment below. Have a great day. Merry Christmas.